Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to show you exactly how to make payments to your suppliers, receive payments from your customers, make and receive payments from your branches, and manage your creditors, your debtors, and your branch accounts. So let's get straight into it. Now there are several videos that I've made concerning opening of accounts and all that, so we are not going to talk about that. If you need any particular video to explain to you how to create accounts, just go to look for video that called account management to be able to understand far more than that. So you need to watch that video before this. Now in this one I'm just going to go straight to making payments and receiving payments, right? Now what's the essence of making this payment and receiving payment? Now you want a situation whereby you are managing your accounts, but you want everything to go through your system. So that means you want every report to be very well aligned. You want your accounts to be perfect. Now for your account to be perfect, there's an issue where we understand that in business you must have what we call payables and receivables. That means you have customers that you grant credit to, you have suppliers that you receive credits from. So oftentimes when you have recorded that, ensure that during your sales or your purchases you have ensured that you have recorded the customer's name, right, or the supplier's name, right, and you've indicated that you have not paid them. So your suppliers, for instance, this supplier now is reading that I'm owing this supplier 366,932.86, right? So if you now want to make this payment to a supplier, you don't just make payment, you have to have a proper record of it. How do you prove that you have made this payment to this supplier? It's just very simple. All you need to do is just to come to where we call make payment. There are two forms of it. One is make payment, the other one is receive payment. Make payment means that you are making payments to a particular supplier that you are owing, while receive payment means that you are receiving payment from a customer that is owing you, right? So if you go to make payment now, you have two options. You can either make those payments by invoice numbers, right? Let's say you select a particular invoice, right? Or you can select by supplier. Remember to ensure that the date is correct. Now if I click this by supplier, I'm simply going to so like I said, if you click by invoice number, that's where you use this invoice number, right? But I always encourage you to use by supplier. So if you use by supplier, you can be able to select the supplier that you are owing. For instance, I'm owing this supplier. Let me look for a supplier that I'm owing here. I'm owing this supplier 193,300, right? So I want to make the payment right now. So you can either decide to make all of the payment or part of the payment or even more of the payment, whatever it is, so long as that is actually what is happening in the real time, right? This is a record platform, but the record platform should be exactly what is going on in the physical. So if actually I've paid this supplier and I paid the supplier through my bank, let's say I did a transfer through my bank to the supplier, so and I paid 1,000, the whole money, so I should just put the amount I paid here, 193,300. So if I did not pay, let's say for instance I just paid 100,000 for today, hoping that one day I'm going to complete the payment. What you are going to see here is that the new balance for that supplier is now reading 93,300, right? So because I'm paying 100,000 out of the 193,300. Now how am I paying this money? I'm actually making a transfer from my bank. Let's say I'm making the transfer from my first bank. I just click this first bank. So immediately as I'm doing the transfer in the physical sense, right, I'm also recording it here. And that is the essence of all this. You're supposed to, when you are using Smart Business Manager, you're supposed to be doing everything we are doing at the same time. So if somebody pays into your account and you receive an alert, you should be able to record it here that you receive an alert, so you'll be able to track every transactions. It's not every time you need to start going to the bank or to know whatever to start tracing. This is a proper record platform where you're supposed to record everything that is going on in your business, including this. So for instance, I've selected this particular supplier and I've selected the amount I want to pay the supplier and the balance. So I selected the source account where I'm paying this money from. So all I need to do is that I could just put a description of what I did to be able to remember. Maybe I could say, okay, I did a transfer or payment for goods or whatever it suits you, that you can use to describe what you have done. At the end of the day, you click save, right? It said, are you sure you want to make this payment? You say yes. Once you click this, it said payment successful. What happens next? You're going to get what we call payment voucher. Now, in accounting principle, this is just an evidence that you have actually made this payment to this supplier, right? And this is like a receipt or a proof that you have paid it, and that's why we call it payment voucher, right? So you can see what it's saying. It says amount 100,000 naira paid from this account to bond, right? This is the description I wrote earlier. Then you sign, the person signs. This payment voucher can be printed and attached to the invoice, to your invoice, to show that you have paid it. You can print two options, two copies, and give it to yourself. You hold one and the supplier holds one, just as a proof that you have paid. You can decide to just save it in the system and just save it that, okay, this is the payment, a proof, so that whenever anybody comes and asks you, have you paid? Yes. Apart from showing the evidence in your phone, they're also showing it that is going on from your system, right? So that's the essence of this. Now, on the other side of it, which is exactly like almost like this, but the opposite, is receiving payment. Now, you want to receive payment from who? From a customer that is owing you. Like I said, you can see select it by invoice, or you can select by customer. Once you select by customer here, you can select this customer. Let's assume this customer now is owing me 7,100, Mrs. Ikide Olabisi. Now, and the customer wants to pay all 7,100. The same thing. So where am I receiving the money into? I say received into, let's say, my POS. Person pays through POS, right? So that is it. So you can see the balance here, right? The balance of this my account is showing here. You can see the previous balance and you can see the amount here, right? Sorry, I did 71,000. It's supposed to 7,100. So you can see the balance is right, is zero. So I've cleared the account for this. And once I put the description and I click save, the system asks me if I want to save. Once I say confirm it and I say yes, the principal will now call a cash receipt. This is different from an invoice. Receipt is actually showing that I've paid this person this amount of money, and this is what you're going to get, right? So you can either pay, save it, or print it out, depending on how you want to do it. So we've completed that for now. So the next thing you want to also look at is branch payment. Let's say you have I've talked about, there's a video I made about branch. When you send products to your branch, this is where you create the branch. Now you can decide to send products to your branches, right? And once you send the product, the amount is recorded, or you can receive products from your branches using this platform to import products from your branches, right? Now at the end of the day, the branch is now wants to pay you. If the branch is paying you, you can either receive the payment from the branch, or you can make payment to the branch. So this follow the same process. Select the branch, select where you are paying the money from. This one I want to make payment. I'll select where I'm making the money from, or payment from. Then you can see the balance and the new balance. You can describe it, and you can also save it. And very simple and very easy. So there are two things you can actually do that. So at the end of the day, you can see that you can manage your branch effectively. You can manage your accounts very well. So you can now check your reports to make sure, look at the transfer payments, all the transfers that we have made, all the payments we have made will be reflected in our accounts, right? In our account, both in the customers and the supplier. Look at this customer now. If I look for that Mrs. Ikide now, right, Olabisi, I open the account, you can see that I've actually paid this money. It was owing me 7,100. So I made a payment 7,100 to this, right? So you can see, okay, it was actually 14,200. So I cleared it off and it's cleared. So you can also reprint this report that probably has been made before now. You can reprint this report that has been made, and at the end of the day, all these things we are talking about can appear in what I call your reports, your financial reports, where you talk about your statement, your income statement, and all that, especially your branches. You understand? So now, one of the essence of these payment issues is the issue of the creditors and the debtors. Now, The system now, what does this report does is for just to look at your debtors and your creditors, right? So it wants to check which of your creditors, now creditors I mean is my suppliers, right? Which of my suppliers am I still owing, right? So if there is, all the suppliers have been supplying me, I've been making payments, I've been receiving payments, but I want to check which one is still owing me, right? Which one I'm owing, that's the creditors. So I just check this report, show reports. It's going to simply show me all the reports here. It's going to show me the total amount that is balanced. It's showing me the supplier's name in a list. This one is no longer each of them, so it just show me all the persons that I'm owing, and at the end of it will show me the total amount that I'm owing, right? This is total amount I'm owing, right? 8.3 million, right? So it's going to show me the last time I purchased, right? The last purchase date. It's going to show me the last purchase amount. It's going to show me the last time I paid this supplier, the last date, and the last amount I paid, and look at the payments due. So I could also sort this report by due date, so that the ones that are due will appear first. So you can see all the ones that are due. You can see all the invoices that are due will appear first. Then I could also sort it by the balance. That means the largest balances will be on the top, right? The largest balances will be on the top before showing any other one. So, and the same thing happens to now the debtors. When you go back to the financial report and go to debtors, this is simply now showing me all the persons that are owing me. They are probably just your customers that still have balances with you. So you can also sort them by due date or by balance, and you see the reports. So you can see all the persons that are owing you and how much they are owing you, and the due date. You can see the last day they paid and the last day they purchased and all that. So at the end of the day, you'll be able to see a proper report. And I hope this really helps you to be able to use this Smart Business Manager. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.